Hi, Siri. I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of Podup with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Welcome to Podup with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's March 1st, folks. We made it to March. March Madness is right around the corner. Gators win last night, sweep the Bulldogs this year in basketball, shoot the ball really, really well. Also in Gator sports, baseball blows out JU. And congratulations to Yuxin Lin, one of the Gator golfers. He wins the individual title at Southern Highlands, which is a tournament out in the desert at UNLV host. That's the golf course that myself and Cardozo and Sean Kelly got on. JC Deacon got us on there out at the bowl game. So he wins the individual title. Gators come in seventh, I believe. I think Illinois won the team title. But a lot going on this week. JC will join us here on the Titan MR Hotline. We're going to do our Peachland Dental picks for the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Orlando, which cranks up this week. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Good. Thanks, Shane. Doing well. The Arnold Palmer tournament, it's always fun down at Bay Hill. And I think with that, followed by the TPC, we really get a good, jolt of the PGA Tour here in the state of Florida. At some point, I know they play down in Tampa as well. So, the tournament last week, the Honda Classic was excellent down at the Bear Traps. So that was good. QB, you mentioned the Gators last night. They get the nice win at Georgia, beating them twice now this year. But how about your boy Mike White at Georgia? They've lost 4 straight games, and check out these scores they've lost by. They lost 108-59 to Alabama. They lost 97-65 the next game. In the game after that, they then lose 85-63, and then they lost at home by 10 to Florida. What's going on with those guys, dude? Your boy, I mean, they're 16-14, but
they're very, very much improved over what he took over. Tom Crean. Right? I don't even think Tom Crean won an SEC game.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He's got a winning record. I mean, they had a losing record for the last 4 or 5 years. So they don't care about basketball up there. So what does it matter?
They really don't. They're 16-14. They're 11th in the conference. Florida. That was a nice win. It's good to see the shooting finally click, I guess you could say, for the first time in I don't know how long. It was a good win.
Yeah, last regular season game is Saturday, and then the tournament cranks up next week. Some of the smaller tournaments have already started. A lot of them will start this weekend. I didn't even realize, JC, next week is the Players' Championship. I thought they took I didn't know they went from Orlando straight up to Ponte Vedra, but they do. So we'll talk about that here in just a second.
Okay.
Are you going to go watch the Miami Hurricanes at all when they roll into town this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. I absolutely will. I'd like to see.
Because you're so busy.
Well, it's a challenge when it's 80 degrees. QB, it has been 80 degrees or more in Florida in our area.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's hot, bro. I don't sit in a hot ass stadium. I like to go playing golf or doing something myself, but I get it. No, it's okay. I mean, listen, it's a summer sport, right? I'll be fine. I'm complaining, but no, I think it would be great to watch. I'd like to really see if Florida's for real with those bats. I know they hit 1 billion home runs against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati doesn't have a pitcher that could probably throw the ball past me at this point. So let's see how they do against some real pitching, and that'll be a nice test for the baseball team for sure.
Yeah, I also wanted to give a shout out to Ian Scott, the former Gator who played in the NFL for a while, has now been named as the new head coach of the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes, his alma mater. So he'd been coaching some in college ball. Probably just wanted to get back to Gainesville and not have to deal with the mess that college athletics is these days. So congratulations to him, and we'll see how that goes for him. I meant to ask you the other day, I don't know when it happened actually, but Ole Miss parted ways with Kermit Davis.
Yeah, they sure did.
Who is a well-respected coach around the country.
Yeah.
There's rumors out there that Ole Miss is going to try to hire Chris Beard.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
Or Will Wade, one of those two.
Well, Will Wade, those are two controversial names. I don't think Chris Beard's controversy, though, should follow him as much as Will Wade's, because simply the charges that he was charged with were dropped. But Texas wasted absolutely no time in letting him go after he was charged, but not guilty of anything, apparently, according to the law as we know it. Also, last night, QB, Tennessee had a nice win over Arkansas, but lost a player to a possible ACL tear. One of their starters, Zaire, starts with a Ziegler, excuse me, Ziegler.
It's their little point guard.
Yeah, and it looks like he could be done for the year. Another note last night, Mississippi State gets their 20th win under Chris Jans, their new head coach. They're 20-10. They beat South Carolina 74-68. South Carolina's played tough the last couple of games for their coach, but they're the last place team in the league. But Mississippi State goes 74-68 on senior night. Tolu Smith was a big scorer, and Joe Lunardi has Mississippi State as one of the last four in for the NCAA tournament in a must-win game last night at home, because now they have to play a very hot Vanderbilt team on the road in Nashville, and then they turn right back around and go back to Nashville for the SEC tournament, which starts next week, which will be just a very exciting event, much like what I think the Big Ten tournament will be like in the Big 12 tournament. These conference tournaments should be pretty good, and it will help these teams and these conferences get a few more teams into the big dance. And Mississippi State's one of those teams that needs the NCAA. I should say, as one of the last four in, probably has its destiny in front of it if it can get a couple more wins or one more win to be another SEC team in the tournament. Lunardi's got him as an 11th seed, and I think that's a great rebound from the way they started in the league.
Yeah. You don't have in front of you who the Gators potentially will play day one of the SEC tournament.
Well, they showed that. They showed it last night. I want to say it will be Arkansas. Last night, Arkansas was the 8th seed. They would play Florida, I think, on the second round. And the winner of that game, unfortunately, will play Alabama. But I think they will play in the second round. I don't think they'll play in the first night. They're going to play in the second round, and it'll likely be against Arkansas, to me, I believe, to be the team. So, and then the winner gets Alabama. Good luck. So we'll see how that goes. But Ole Miss, Chris Beard would be, I think, it'd be a good hire. I do, because I'm not one of those people that crucify and convict folks if they're found not guilty or charges are dropped. So, because I don't have all the facts in front of me, I just go with what is reported, and that's what was reported. So Chris Beard, as far as I'm concerned, should be able to coach again.
Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Doreen Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker, Emma Parrish, will provide you fast, friendly, reliable service. Call her today at 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Speaking with JC on the Titan MR hotline. I was looking at some texts that came in last night. Okay. This one is from, I don't know who it's from. He was referring to, I was talking to, I guess, Buddy Martin yesterday. Buddy was talking about A.J. McCarron taking a pay cut to play in the XFL. I don't know what he took a pay cut from, because he wasn't playing football. Right. It says this text says that DJ Dwayne Johnson the Rock said McCarron took a pay cut to play in the XFL so his kids could see him play on the field. I do know that's a fact, but he may have taken a pay cut from his regular job, but he wasn't playing anywhere.
Do you see him in the hotel?
No, he's at his own. Every team has its own hotel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so they're in the same town, right? You're all in the same hotel. Okay.
This is another anonymous text here on the Titan MR text line. Shane, have you heard anything about pre-spring workouts? Who seems to be standing out as far as a leader of a performance? Have not heard a thing. And again, I don't give a damn how much somebody can lift weights and how fast they can run and all that.
No, I'm not.
Has nothing to do with playing football. That's why the combine, to me, when those guys go over there and do all the bench pressing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There ain't many times anybody bench presses anything. Sometimes the linemen have to use their hands as a bench press to work a defender, but I don't get caught up in that. Speaking of the combine is going on right now. We had a ton of texts yesterday with Buddy. Obviously, right now, JC, your thoughts? A lot of people think Anthony Richardson could be the #1 pick in the draft.
Wow.
I don't. I understand why these general managers are going. I've said it from day one why he would get enamored with him. The biggest thing to me about Anthony, and this is not a knock against him, but it's the facts. He hasn't won a whole lot of football games at any level.
Yeah.
I mean, you want guys that win and produce.
Right.
And yes, he has all the measurables and unique talent set. But if you were picking a quarterback, you had to pick a quarterback. Who would be your first guy?
Well, if I had to pick a quarterback, my first guy would be C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And that's because I've seen results come from him. And I believe if the Chicago Bears are going to pick a quarterback, which we don't know if they are, they may trade that pick away, but it would be C.J. Stroud. His upside, I think, is untapped QB. I'm not a believer in Will Levis yet because I need to see the production on the field. They say his body is beautiful, but Jamarcus Russell was a physical specimen as well. We know how that worked out. QB. I don't know, man. I think it's C.J. Stroud, and maybe in the right environment at Indianapolis or at Houston or somewhere indoors, climate control. I totally agree with you that Bryce Young could be effective in the league, certainly. But I would not spend my draft capital on a Will Levis or Anthony Richardson at that level, or have to trade up to get that kind of player right now. That, to me, like you have said, hasn't won much, doesn't get the ball in the end zone that often, has accuracy issues or decision-making issues. Will Levis can throw the ball anywhere, but his decision-making is questionable.
Well, they're the same. They're the same guy.
They're the same guy. So
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, he has not proven to be a very accurate passer. Good luck lasting very long as either a GM who drafts a guy like that in the first round that doesn't work out, or a guy like that who was drafted in the first round that doesn't get better. So
I was reading something. I've always, and I talked about it yesterday. Bryce Young, he measured at 5'10.5", which I thought he was going to be about 5'10", because he's listed at 6 foot in the program and on the internet or what have you. Because you could tell he was not very tall when he stood next to Saban on the sidelines, because Saban's a little dude. I'm anxious to see what people think about that, because here's the difference. He doesn't have the measurables. What he's done is he's been the most elite player at every level he's been at.
Yeah.
And won and produced. And so that's where it's interesting when it comes to professional sports is just use a guy like Anthony or Will Levis, and then a guy like Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not going to wow anybody with his T-shirt off and do it at the combine. Where these guys over here, guys are going to be drooling over him.
Yeah.
Okay? All that stuff they're drooling over has nothing to do with playing quarterback
or winning games.
This dude over here has won a Heisman and didn't win a national title. Probably should have. But he won in high school. I mean, he has produced at a high level everywhere he's been.
Well, he was on the 2020 roster with Mac Jones that did win the title, so he you could say technically.
Well, I'm talking about as a starter.
But as a starter, he did not. You're right, correct. But his accuracy. They drafted Kyler Murray for two reasons. In my mind, it wasn't his speed, his height, or anything like that. It was his speed and his accuracy passing the ball. You got to remember, Kyler Murray at Oklahoma was extremely accurate passing the football. Bryce Young has thrown passes that are NFL quality passes. And, that's what we've seen. And that's what I think brings him to the top of that draft in terms of quarterbacks. But C.J. Stroud, to me, has both. He has the accuracy ability, and he has the physical, physical attributes that you would look at that would give you the idea that durability is not in question. The problem with Tua was, and we said this when he got drafted, he's not a big guy, but man, he's accurate. But he is prone to injury, and that is not what we've seen out of Bryce Young. He did have the shoulder thing, but that didn't last long. And so, we saw him play when he was asked to play, and he produced results. QB, speaking of, since I know we're limited in time, you're with the Guardians shirt. Would you like to hear the JC XFL power ratings for the 8 teams in your league?
Let's do it. All
right, let's go. The number one team in the XFL after 2 games, to me, number one would be your Houston Roughnecks under Wade Phillips and Brandon Silvers as their quarterback. The number 2 team would be the St. Louis Battlehawks. I've got A.J. McCarron as a possible.
You know what's crazy about that? I agree with that. You know, St. Louis has fewer offensive yards and worse statistically than pretty much everybody in the league, but they've gotten fortunate turnovers and found ways to win games.
Yeah, but I'm going to give them number.
And you know, they're going to have, when they play their first home game, not this week, but the next week, they're going to probably have about 60,000 people at that game.
Really?
Yeah, they've already sold the tickets.
Oh, God bless. I hope to see. I want the league to work.
Dude, look, this league is as financially secure as any league there's ever been.
That's cool. Okay, so I've got them 2 right now, but right behind them close is the DC Defenders, who can run the heck out of the football. Very good. Number 4, and I like that team you played last week, San Antonio. They've got some good wide receivers. I like Hines Ward. He's okay. But Mack was a very effective wide receiver. I like some of their big guys on the outside. Number 5, I've got the Arlington Renegades with Bobby Stoops as their coach. The Seattle Sea Dragons could easily be 2-0. They're 0-2. They lost their 2 games in the final seconds. Very heartbreaking for the Seattle Sea Dragons. Got them at 6. I got the Vipers at 7. Play pretty good defense out of Vegas. And then, unfortunately, the Orlando Guardians at 8, the 0-2 team, trying to figure out some offense. So that's what I've got in the top 8. Would you go with that?
Yes. I mean, the best team is clear. I mean, Houston. I mean,
yeah,
we were leading Houston, believe it or not, and then
I remember that.
But St. Louis, I like their team, but they can't block anybody. I mean, if you watch their tape, they are very, very. They should really be 0-2.
Would you have DC at number 2 then?
Yeah, I would have DC up there because they play good, solid defense and they can run the football. The other teams are all kind of the same. It's all about turnovers, special teams, and nonsense like that. But St. Louis is going to have 50 to 60,000 people in their first home game.
I mean, you got to love that. Are they playing that game, I guess, where the Rams used to play, or is there another stadium?
Whatever that dome is.
Okay, so they're at the Edward Jones or whatever dome. The Rams played with the greatest show on turf. You know, St. Louis was dying for football QB after the Rams left. Good for them. Good for the Battle Hawks. I think it's great. The pick of the week for me. And by the way, Houston's playing their 3rd straight home game at the University of Houston this weekend when they play the Brahmas. But the pick of the week for me, I hate telling you this, but I think the Renegades minus 8.5 over Orlando is my pick of the week.
Well, I'll tell you this right now: the Renegades could easily be 0-2.
They could.
I will tell you that.
Okay, so maybe
they just so you know, JC, do you know how they won their first game?
It was a late.
They had 2 pick sixes. They did not score an offensive touchdown.
That's right. That is right.
They are okay, but they're not great. Trust me.
Well, beat them this weekend,
just
QB.
Be careful.
Well, beat them. I'm saying beat them.
I have nothing to do with. I'm just saying, on tape, they're for them and the Battlehawks could both easily be 0-2, easily. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, International Diamond Center, Dave & Buster's, Bass Pro Shop, Regal Cinemas, Visors Rooftop, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurs Gridiron Grill. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. All right, JC, before we get out of here, we got to do our Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. We're going to pick the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I won in golf again last week, I believe.
You know what?
I had Max Homa again.
Yeah, man, you do like him. I had.
All right, we're gonna pick, since this is kind of a major. We're gonna kind of do this kind of fast now, JC.
You had Shane Lowry. You had Shane Lowry too.
Yeah, I did. I had Shane Lowry as well. So I'm wearing you out in golf. We're gonna pick 5 golfers since this is kind of a big tournament. So I'm gonna let you go first. Pick.
I forgot my pen. Okay, I'm going to take Scotty Scheffler to start the Bay Hill Invitational.
All right, so you're taking Scheffler. I'm going to go out on the limb, and I never take chalk. I'm going to take some chalk here, and I'm going to go John Rahm.
Oh, well, that's a great pick. He's been the best player on tour.
Well, you usually take him. That's your fault.
You're right. No, he is. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say Tyson Alexander, but I'll pass on him and go with Justin Thomas.
I was going to take JT as well.
Well, there's another one.
All right. Well, then I'm going to take my guy, Max Homa, who's hot.
He is great. Give me Jason Day. I like him at that course. He's played well too, by the way.
Give me Tom Kim.
That's a good pick. Very good pick.
He's the youngest player there.
I'm going to go with one of my favorites, and that's Will Zalatoris. I like him a lot, man. I think he's going to win a major soon. I really do.
All right, I'm going to pick one out of the hat. I'm going to go Terrell Hatton.
I like that pick too. Keith Mitchell's been really good here lately. Out west, give me Keith Mitchell at the Bay Hill.
You're taking a Georgia Bulldog.
I think they, yeah. You know, Bulldog won last week. Chris Kirk won at Honda.
Yeah. All right, so I got one more pick here.
Yes.
And I only had 4 initially. I'm going to take Sun J.M.
Oh, I can't believe it. Well, usually that guy will do very well for you at a course like that. It's a course where accuracy is very, very highly regarded, as they all are, I guess. But that sounds good. I mean, the field is great. There's another PGA event, QB, in Puerto Rico for some of the players that are not invited to Bay Hill. So they have the secondary PGA event down in Puerto Rico. So some pretty good names down there as well. And so that's big for some of these guys that need a win on tour to get that exemption, that 2-year exemption.
I forgot they had that tournament down there.
Yeah, that's for the guys like Lashley and Wawrinski and people that didn't get invited, right? I mean,
my guy Matt Every, former Gator, who's actually, I thought, how does it work? He won back to back. I think he won the Arnold Palmer back to back.
Yeah, he did. But you're
not exempt for the rest of your life when you win Arnold Palmer?
You should be. I bet if Arnold were alive, he'd invite him back. No question about it. But he's not down there. But they've got some great players down there at that tournament as well. And again, you get a win down there in Puerto Rico, you've got your exemption for 2 years. It's a huge deal. And that's what gives these guys security, is knowing that they are exempt and have status on the tour. So that's great stuff. So I'm all about it.
Real quick, there's a big game. I think it's in Tuscaloosa tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah,
it's the Iron Bowl. Auburn's not going to make the tournament.
Yeah, Auburn is really problematic right now. 19-10. They're 6th in the conference. They are 10-point underdogs. Alabama. I think this thing with Brandon Miller. We talked to Seth Harp about this the other day. They'll use this scrutiny that they're going under, which I think was just idiotic what they did over the weekend. But at any rate, they are now the hated team. I think that's going to give them motivation as they play.
Are they still only one game ahead of A&M and for the conference title?
They're two because A&M lost to Mississippi State, which was a big win.
They win tonight. They win the conference.
If they win tonight, they win. Well, I think they've already done that, because even if they tied Texas A&M, they beat Texas A&M. So I want to say they've already accomplished that in the regular season. But they're playing for the 1 seed overall. And I think with all of the things that has happened, the controversy.
When's the last time Alabama won the SEC in basketball but did not in football?
It had to be back in the I'd say it was back in the early 90s.
When Robert Horry was playing?
Yeah, early 90s when Latrell Sprewell or Robert Horry or James Robinson. Rich Sanderson was the great coach that I got to watch when I was in college there. At least I got to see good basketball, because I did not see good football. As when I was there in the 80s, we lost 4 years straight to Tennessee. We lost to Auburn 2 out of 4, I think, or 3 out of 4. And we lost to Boston College and teams like that. Alabama was trash in the 80s. And I had to watch that. It was unfortunate for me. And I had to travel to Birmingham to go to Legion Field and sit through that nightmare as well. After a loss to Boston College and Doug Flutie, we're driving back from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa. Miserable, just miserable. It was a horrible time to be a Bama fan. And, of course, that's what I was. And Bear Bryant died. He died my freshman year in the second semester in January.
Well, we'll see. All right, JC, have a great day. It's just, hydrate if you go outside, since it's so dang hot.
Hey, QB, I was in the emergency room on Sunday. I'll tell you that off the air. What
you were?
Yeah, what happened to me over the weekend. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I came through it. I'm fine. There's nothing urgent. But my blood pressure was 80/58, and I was about to just – I mean –
All right, JC, go get a walk in then.
Hydration. Yeah.
All right. That's JC joins on the Titan Elm hotline. I'm not sure who's joining the program today. That might be
Do I
us
need to
today.
come on with Seth
I think Wednesdays are a short day because our other co-hosts have issues. So
is it Crooks? Is it Crooks?
I don't even know. I should know this, but I think Wednesdays is just me and you, and it's a short program. So we'll be back in action tomorrow, folks. Have a great day.
And on
JC's
Friday.
out of here.
Okay, bud.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.